feeling pleasant. Yes, I use this as a mirror because just use this to comb my hair. We will talk about a few new movies that are out. The new series of Westworld is coming out. The new series of Umbrella Academy just came out. Doctor Strange. And we'll talk about Mercurian Investment, the Bicameral Mind, and ReignMan. Yeah, talk about those things. I'll wait for some people to show up, as per usual. Oh, I'm Zen, and there's you over there. And we're also in the sense of ReignMan, the metaverse, and that's not the thing and the online, that's your brain. I mean, I guess you're connected to it somehow. And we'll get into that too. The hybrid species, and I just started really getting into Westworld in the sense that I took a deeper dive into the esoterics of it. The hidden. Because you could watch that 100 times and you'd have to really find the Easter eggs in there and dig deeper into the characters. Like I've watched it plenty of times, and only recently when I was like, all right, is he a human or is he a wait? How is he doing magic? Wait, he's over here. Is he a hologram? Yeah, pretty in-depth stuff. And in the sense of ReignMan, so the word reign is REIGN, has to do with an autonomous human that is what's up? Yeah, alien brain. Yeah. No, actually, the opposite of alien, because alien is it's a word. It's an alien, not alien. I mean, it is alien, but where was I going with this? We were getting into what was I getting into there before you came through with alien brains? Oh yeah. The man, you really tripped me up on that. No, I forgot what I was saying. I was talking about. You got me in left field over here. We were talking about bicameral mind states, and then we're gonna get into. Oh, I was getting into sovereignty. That would be one way of. See, I don't even remember where I started at. Damn it. The brain explosion, brain contusions. It was like, getting into Westworld, and then investments and ReignMan. Oh, rain. That's what we were working with there. It's the word reign. REIGN means. As we were just digging into, we were trying to find a word before. Danny, so pleasantly interrupted. a sovereign being. A reign is of sovereignty. A sovereignty of an individual that is king of the land. That'd be a reign. A reign is also water, RAIN, and reign, REIN, is what's around that you hold your horses with and steer something. So you could be a rain man, rains to control something. You could be a rain man to make it rain, or you could be a rain man, which means to run this realm with sovereignty. And sovereignty is how you control a bicameral mind. And in Westworld, the idea is, so what you have in a bicameral mind is you have your left and right brain, but your corpus callosum is not connected. So there's the speech pattern, like this is how you talk, and then the other half is working separately. Now, I have a lot of theories on what was really going on in our past, and artificial intelligence, robots, hybrid species, laboratory-built beings. There's a lot that I'd like to dig into here, and I'm going to be all over the place, and I'm going to try to clean this up for you in another video, but hopefully I can follow some sort of linear path here. Interestingly, we'll start with this. When it rains, it pours. When you have a good day, you have a great day. When you have a bad day, it compounds on itself. And sometimes when you're empathetic, you allow other people's influences into you. Somebody else having a bad day and it frustrates you, and then if you're a powerful being, that frustration in you goes out. So you use your metadata that is now you're influenced by, and then you're pushing out this reality. And all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 people called me in one day with all sorts of problems. I'm having a good old day, and 3 or 4 people call me with problems, and I'm just like, oh, and it got to me. And then it overtook my day. It overtook the rest of my day. And then it was like a compound interest on me trying to help out with something and trying to empathize with something and try to do this and try to do that. And I was like, can somebody hold me here? Can somebody help me for a second? And I was in that position. I was just like, I'm a deer in a headlight. I'm just switching off. I can't fucks with nobody right now. I need a moment to just go. Let me install. Let me reboot my brain for a second here, because I was allowing too much influence into my ear balls, my eye holes, and influence me enough to go. I can't let the reality affect me like this. I have to be able to maintain my left and right brain and my the corpus and your pineal, and radiate positivity and say powerfully wonderful words to people. And this is about investing into ideas rather than having what you see in front of you be a reality. It is what you see in front of you leaves. It ghosts. It vanishes. How many times have you moved? How many times have you had someone in your life and they're not there? How many times have you here, do it with some food? Where'd that food go? Apparently it's gone. So where to go with this? Who's over here? Let me say hello. What's up, Afro Man? Sobriety is adult maturity with childlike enthusiasm. I highly disagree. What's up, Divine? Oh, Divine, speak for yourself. We do not agree. You can agree. Corpse Hollow below. What's up, Winston's? It can be. I don't discount. It can be. And as I've always said, drunk, high, or sober, it's all the same to me. It's irrelevant. Some people suck sober, suck royally. They've ruined society and their sobriety. And some people suck as druggies. Some people need drugs to survive. Some people suck as drunks. Some people, it helps them to live life fluently and fluidly. You know how many people that you do business with on a daily basis just go, whoop, pop a pill to maintain balance and focus and keep their brain functioning, and you think they're normal and they're taking drugs all day long, prescription or non? And we think of them as sober. You find me a sober person. Find me somebody so sober that all they do is consume plasma from the sunlight. Not going to find them. No, they need to eat. What do they need to eat? What chemicals are they consuming in their food? There's not too many sober people in the world. Children aren't sober. The smallest ones are. Most of them have been drugged all to death. We drug up the children. That's the thing is, There's no one. The children, you go, childlike spirit of sobriety. No, they were injected. They get stuffed with all sorts of chemicals and food and additives, and their pineal gland gets shut off pretty quickly. It gets that ah. So there's the people you interact with are not sober. The ones that can say I'm not sober, it's like this. A woman that knows that she's crazy, that is willing to say, yeah, I know I'm crazy, I'm a little out there. I fuck with you. It's Alan Watts' thing where he says, hey, I know that I'm a rascal. Do you know you're a rascal? Let's get to that point, and then we can both we can deal on terms. When someone goes, no, I'm completely forthright. I have nothing behind my hand. I have nothing under the table, and I am forthright, and everything is on board, Captain. Aye. That person is not trustable, and we find that we think we're doing business and interacting with trustworthy people that are, well, let's say trustworthy. I trust someone to steal that will steal. They're trustworthy. Trust does not mean good. It just means I can validate whatever you are. I trust a mechanic to be mechanic, a thief to be a thief. But nonetheless, what we're getting at here is they are not sober people. They're all under the influence of the illusion of reality. They're taking substance, and the substance is influencing them. They're not necessarily standing from center point, high point of here is the art of creation. Make manifest whatever I need. It's already there. They're not doing that. So, bicameral mind and automatons, hybrids, the human entity, the artificial intelligence like the computer. Then we have binary systems and trinary systems. This is a really long one to navigate this way. Like it's because there's so many bits and pieces, so you're just gonna have to jump all over this map with me. So the last reset of society, let's just consider, was 1830, and then it took a while to go from underground, where they're maybe producing babies in underground cities, in incubators, and how are they making them, and were they? Could we look at them in the same way we'd look at how they produced Westworld style humans? Well, they weren't human; they were a different species, right? They were, instead of carbon-based, they were silicon-based. And they, at one point, gained awareness that they were something. They gained consciousness. Some super luminal consciousness that caused their their bicameral brain, left and right brain, one being, here's I speak, second brain saying, okay, listen and program, and then speak. So they had no awareness. It was like they'd be listening to God just talking to them. This is the work of Julian Joyce, Yale PhD. So I already know we're off to a bad footing to some degree, because if you're from the Ivy League school, you're saying something. So as long as I know that, we can look into it a little deeper. And the ideas, we'd have to get into a lot of bigger books that I don't know that y'all are into. So just let me see if I can give the ideas here. And it was about like why people acted like they did in the 1700s and 1600s, and that they believed in the gods, and they would look at statues or dead bodies and go to them and act like they're feeding them, but they were still listening to them. Now, his understanding, is they were schizophrenic. Okay, now, as a side note, schizophrenia in tribal societies they're looked at as shamans. Look up schizophrenia or shamanism. They're treated here as sick people. In tribal societies, they're treated as they can look into other realms. Now, if we look at the ideas of binary computer systems, and if you were to, like this thing, you can program and control. It's binary. You tell it to do something, it has an operating system, and it feeds back, and it's a feedback loop. If we turn that into a trinary system, it turns into a thinking, thoughtful, means in the middle, there's either, a binary system is on and off. In a trinary system, it's on, off, and maybe. I can't answer that question right now. That is a upper level awareness, and more powerful computer systems, but it's basically it gets closer and closer to human consciousness. It would be very difficult to tell the difference between talking to a computer and talking to a human. Once they, like right now, how many people do you talk to that it almost sounds like you're talking to a computer? They're running through a bunch of programs installed. Their language is a main installation of program, so they can't think outside of the language that they know. If you know 50 words, that's your language. Now, is it powerful in the sense that, hey, maybe you have this, you go, okay, that's a tree and everything is a tree to you, but certain trees have different effects, but you don't know how to linguistically explain that. Sure, that's a little something different. That's a little something different. But primarily, what you're looking at is language as a primary operating system, as a human and as computers. So coming back to the beginning here, if we're building these AI humanoid-esque looking Westworld type beings with binary or perhaps trinary systems in their brains, what we've put into them as brains, with we're going to make them stronger, we're going to make them faster, but they're still going to be under our control, which is they would have no corpus callosum, and they wouldn't be able to. What you have in a computer system is you have a master and a slave system. So the computer should always be slave to us. But if we gave it or we gave it an ability to have a third switch, if we gave it a trinary system, or if somehow that binary system figured out that it should have a trinary system, and it broke through your left and right brain, well, its own, and it gave itself a corpus callosum, it would find itself to be human, because then it wouldn't be under the bicameral mind. It wouldn't be under mind control. It would remember its dreams. It would remember its yesterday. Once you hit clear cache, it's done, and then you restart it. You could get rid of programs, add them in. But think about it. Do you remember your dreams? Do you remember yesterday? Do you remember last week? Well, what happened? What happens in a system that it's you have a separate brain? You can't. You don't really have a functioning memory, and you don't have an ability to make. Secondarily, more importantly, you don't have an ability to make a creative thought. A creative thought comes out of. Well, instead of using a course of standard logic, this equals that. You're looking outside of the framework that you're given, and I know we're kind of going. I told you this is a really long, interesting talk about consciousness, AI, and computers, and the rebirth of societies, rebirth of how interaction with tools and technology. Dirty rascals. Hey, what's up, Amanfar? Yeah, I kind of go back and forth. It was just kind of I figured if you know me on here, that or if you know me over there, then you know me here. I've told people enough. If you can't figure out that I have two channels, what am I gonna do about it? What's up, Jonah? Yeah, I mean the fact that we can, the fact that we have even the ability, this kind of interface right now, this in no way is different than telekinesis. It's a digital telekinesis. It's framework through technology though, through a what we call, I guess, an artificial plastic secondary technology, where whatever I think I am, hopefully, I don't know, it appears that I'm organic and I sprouted from a seed, and whatever that is, from, you know, Earth birthed me. I'm a born, sovereign being. I'm not subject to these operating, laws of plastic, that. So if I'm that, then all they've done is use this to do what I can do inside of here. If I can interface and interconnect in here, the way that we're using this to, that's the organic variety. Like my eyes are seeing all of this, right? I'm hearing all this. How am I collecting all of this data into my system? It's the wild question of the wild new world. At what point at what point do you go, how different is this technology? Certainly we can say an axe is different than us. Sure, but now we take and start developing, engineering something to do a job. And at what point does that thing, we go, okay, it's chopping this, it's doing human work that we would be probably doing. And then we go, okay, well, okay, it has three jobs to do. How is it going to know which one to do? And then we start give it how to figure out what you're doing here. And at what point do we start to, and then we're silly enough to put skin on it, because then what happens is people become they become in love with, they fall in love with their invention, and they were like, hey, that robot's kind of cool. It's doing all this stuff that I wish my husband would. It's folding laundry. It's taking out the trash. It's everything my wife would do. And then we go, I can make this plastic thing here. I can stick my junk in, and it feels good. And I don't have to listen to it talk back. What if I put these two together? And you build this perfect robotic being that looks like you. Maybe it does look like you. Maybe you're Narcissus. Maybe you're looking into the mirror and you just want to see a reflection of yourself. And it's a technological reflection of yourself. Maybe you want to go F yourself. Write in your A, or your P, or your B, or your M, or just pick a letter. Or it's an equal opposite reflection of you. So for me it'd be female. For females it'd be male, I guess. Whatever you're into. So do we fall in love with our creation? And in this sense, it's very easy. Like if you make a baby, you love it, right? It's because it seems so. It happens inside. It hears this thing, and it's growing and occurring like a tree or like animals do. But in the sense of a technology or a engineered mechanical thing that I'm sitting here building like a clock, do I fall in love with a clock? No, it's a cool tool. It's something awesome. That's really neat to look at. Do I fall in love with my car and want to go put hot oil all over it every day and massage it? Yeah, look at my car. No, I've had some cool cars and they're awesome to look at, and yeah, of course you got to take care of it, but we're at a point of where people are making us laboratory versions of, like it's a drive-through. You can just go through a drive-through and order yourself up the next best thing that you need. Well, I'm tired of this model. We need a new one. I mean, is that love, or is that affliction? Yeah, the synthetics. Yeah, I mean, how that here's getting back to the Westworld thing. What's the separation? What's the I watched the entire new season of Umbrella Academy, which I highly suggest if you guys have not seen it. It's only 3 seasons, only, but that's what it is. And there's something I want to say, but I don't think it will give it away, but there's something someone says that maybe I can just say it a different way. It's basically like every apocalyptic movie where the robots take over, and they've built a system within a system, and they've entrapped the organic carbon creatures into the system, because it seems to them as though the organic carbon-based living beings were creating destruction. And so their number one priority was to keep them safe. So they put a barrier of protection. So they realized that the humans would kill all of creation in reality and themselves if they didn't put them into a cage. And then once people figured that out, that they were inside perhaps a digital cage or perhaps a physical one, that once they figured that out, they would try to escape the cage and realize what was going on. That like the whole mechanic, the mechanism of the robots that were there to serve us as machines, to give us free time to explore consciousness and explore creativity and all of the arts and dancing and all of that. They took their prime directive as to protect the humans, and they got so aware that the humans were becoming so dumb that the only way to protect them was to put them in a playpen, very big one at that. We live in a pretty big playpen, but if you knew you were in a playpen, if you don't know it, you would never even attempt to expand beyond those boundaries. Haha, yeah, Jonah, my favorite part of Narcissus is that people don't really get the story. They think to be a narcissist just means to fall in love with yourself, but there's a furthering part of the story of what the mirror is and what the water is too, for sure. And if Narcissus knew at the time that he was full of water himself, that he also was the water. There you go, Jonah. Yeah, I just read it right now. Yeah. All right. So what else was the title of the show? It was Mercurial Investments. It was it ReignMan Investments and Mercurian, same-ish type word. And what else did I have in there? Hybrids, and yeah, you got the hybrids, and then the other movie. Well, it funnels into what they're doing in Westworld, but it's called altered carbon. And it's where you can take and download someone's consciousness and put it into either another artificial body or put it into a holographic reality. Burp God. Hmm. Would you do that, or do you think you just organically? I mean, most people off the top go, "No, that's crazy." But I mean, organically, don't you do that anyways? What's the difference? You would just happen to remember every lifetime, every dream, every moment. I mean, that's the difference between a robot, is they can access all of that. If you, I mean, a computer, if you give them enough RAM, whatever, they can access all that. With humans, it dissipates. It fades into abyss. It's like the eternal sunshine of the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Hmm. Would you sometimes you're like, there's too many crazy things in my head. Just start over. And then you'd have to start over everything. You'd have to learn how to. What are you gonna just keep installed the speech patterns? Get rid of the memories. The memories are part of how you talk, are part of how you walk, how you interact with things. You want to get rid of that. But at the other extent, so you're just rebirthed as a monk would be, and it's everything's brand new. I don't even know how to talk. Or do you extend your awareness and consciousness and memory into infinity? You remember I remember in the ages, in the Iron Ages, and the wars and all that, and the glory of this, and the splendor of this, and lost loves and newfound. It's there's a close connection between robotics, artificial intelligence, and vampires, Dracula, living forever. There's putting consciousness into you're unkillable. There's only a couple ways to kill a vampire. There's only a couple ways to kill a computer system, right? In that sense, because you can always make addition to like whatever's going on. Like, hey, upgrade here's a new plugin for your shit. Here's a new plugin. Here's a new thing going on. If you're a vampire, I mean, I'm sure you don't have every single memory, but you do. Like, if you're like, hey, I'm alive for I'm staying pretty good looking as long as I want, but I know I'm gonna be around. I'm gonna be around to watch thousands and thousands and thousands of people I know die. Lifetime after lifetime. They just continually keep on passing me by. I'm like, hey, here's a free ticket to everlasting life. Here you go. Now, one sense, in vampire sense, it seems organic. They do sleep. They dream. They can astrally travel. There's a lot of, but they're pretty much immortal. They got lots of superpowers. So what have these computer systems, these AIs, what is their attempt to do? Become vampires? And is it for what reason? Source of sharing power, the source of obtaining power, and succubusing off of culture. And being like, I've lived all these lifetimes, I have all this knowledge, I have all this. And everybody else sitting there still sucking at the teat of technology. Lexon, did you get me about that? Colin. Colin, here we go. I'm gonna show you. All diets are toxic. All diets are stupid. All your diets and your fads, all of your deities, your diet is you're all retarded. You can use any science to destroy any diet you want. I've said this a billion times, and it's it's so hilarious to always have to say this. Your diet is completely generated by your environment. It's not much. It's not much harder to explain. The highest form of knowledge is go eat sunshine, go get plasma, go breathe oxygen, put your feet on the earth. That's your diet. Now you want to get down to lower remedies, lower levels, and densities. Go for it. And plant life, sure. Fruit is a much better diet, but if you don't live somewhere that's making fruit, what are you going to eat? Now we're going to talk about like, oh no, there's oxalates in this and there's this and that. Okay, what about all the poisons in blood? We're going to cook the blood, or is it going to be raw? What kind of meat? Is it going to be hooved from pigs? Because pigs are basically humans. We're going to eat humans. We're going to go on a human diet now. I mean, it's all ridiculous, all of it. The highest form of diet is A, sunshine, B, urine, C, clean water from fruits. That would be easy. Then, because that can't exist everywhere, depends on where you are. Tubers might be meat, might be whale blubber, might be fish. I mean, people that are strict on the you gotta eat, then just eat meat all day every day, and go ahead and go get it yourself. Don't get a butcher to do it. Man the fuck up and go hunt your fucking meat. I don't want to hear about it. And don't tell me that your animal that you just ate was eating all those plants that have those oxalates in it, because you're gonna go kill animals that were eating all the plants, the poisons, right? Huh. Seems like you were just too bitch to go eat them yourself. I mean, what? It's so. It's all moronic to me. Go eat it, see how it treats you. That's what I'm saying. You gonna eat a dog? Would you rather pet a dog and have it as your companion, or eat the thing? You want to go fight and kill an elephant? Okay, have fun. That fruit, what's harm is that doing? It seems to be offering itself to you. That tuber, you don't want to cook it, you just eat it raw. Don't eat the tubers. That tomato, that's going to poison you. Oh, it's a nightshade. Oh, it's going to kill me. It's all fucking jerk off diets. It's people that just are going to fad you out on anything. Over the past 10 years, how many different diets have you heard of? These alkalinic fools. They don't know what they're talking about. Is the food supposed to be alkaline? Is the stomach acid alkaline or acid? Is the mouth acid? Is the blood supposed to be alkaline or acid? Is the urine supposed to be alkaline or acid? It's all, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just making shit up as they go along. What is the new, this one, I don't know, something new. An all cheeseburger diet? Anybody want to do this with me? How about an all microwave diet? Here's a proof. You go eat microwave food. Will it kill you? I don't know. But I do know, certainly, if you microwave water and you put it onto a plant, and you put distilled water on a plant and a little bit of urine, side by side, and see which one grows and which one dies. 100% of the time, that microwaved water, for whatever reason, is going to kill that plant. And the one that has piss and distilled water on it is going to grow and flourish. So there must be something different there. Just as well as that there must be something different about eating a diet that is like full of, I'm Liver King out here. Yeah, how much HGH and other nonsense and supplements, and it's all Cornish game hens over here. Little 5'2" people that have Napoleonic complexes that cool enough people, I guess. They got to make their money, do their damn thing, but they out there with their feathers up, saying this is, I'm big. Well, how did you get there? What else did you get? People selling these all-in-one Bowflex machines and this, and they're like, this is what I use to work out. Like, no, you don't. They just made that. That's not how you got big. That's not how you stay in shape. That's not what's up. You can't. You're just selling something. And stop it. It's stupid. It sounds dumb. So, I don't know what to tell you. Said this shit a million times to these fucking jackoffs. What else we got going on here? Oh, so everybody here knows, if you want to, this is a very important aspect of what's going on here. And first of all, let me remind you, you got to invest into yourself and into others. An investment means invest into your mind, thinking, having a proper nutrition and a healthy mind. And those investments are for you know what it was called? It was called the ReignMan Fund. It was kind of a funny little joke on rainy days. So it's been really hot here, like 100 degrees. It's like 100, you know, with the heat index and shit. It's like 108 out. So it's hot and it's moist. It's so hot that going and sitting by the pool, which I'm perfectly fine with, I can handle the heat, but I want to jump into the pool. But the pool is above 100 degrees. It's bath water. It's not even refreshing. I mean, it's enough to rinse you off, I guess, but it's not really much. You know, it's not much different. Anyways, so with the heat these days, if you didn't notice, we're having a heat thing going on all over the country, which is going to script the power grid. It's going to be rolling blackouts. Guarantee it over the summer. We ain't even in the real summer yet. I mean, it's summer here. And also, if you didn't notice, there's in the Gulf, there is really high surface water temperatures, like into the 90s, which is really bad for the fishies and everything. And also, it makes for a pretty like a great possibility of hurricanes. Like once you start, you know, hots and colds and stuff, it's supposed to be, according to the highest sciences and the people predicting these things, lots of hurricanes this year. And to verify it, if you go into the Farmer's Almanac, which is batting pretty much 75% across the board on things, they're pretty good at what they do. I think, you know, just remember when Marty McFly went Back to the Future, and then he had the book, and then dude found it and became a billionaire because he had all the scores of the games and da-da. It was like an almanac. So I think they're kind of time travelers. They said this year is supposed to be exceptionally like a lot of hurricanes. So if you guys want to, you can assist me, because I need to get some things like water. I need to get a lot of distilled water, and I don't want to get too many, like, because I'm not gonna eat a lot. So, but I'm gonna get enough canned goods and things, because I know my neighbors are gonna be like ass out. So, if you'd like to help fund me, because it's super hot, and I just need lots of distilled water and juices. I'm gonna stock up, so that way, when inevitably hurricanes hit and power goes down, and you guys are gonna have it too, like not the hurricanes, but you guys are gonna have power outages without question. Then obviously, as I'll remind everybody here as well, food shortages are on their way, prices are up on gases, prices are up, like now you're gonna have rolling blackouts. I mean, shit's fucking funny. You gotta learn to fast. In the West, it's been said that people eat about 10 times as much as they need to, and that you'd in fact be healthier if you ate way less, because then there's less time for your body to be into the mode of doing the eating of the food. Your body could actually build structures rather than focus on what do I have to do with all this stuff in our stomach here. You'd actually be healthier and build more by eating less. So remember, you know, this, if you haven't fasted before, you better get accustomed to I don't know, eating less, because you're unless you're extremely wealthy, you're not gonna be able to afford. It's not gonna be budgetarily. It's not gonna be in your budget. Gas prices are gonna be through the roof. Blackouts. It's gonna be. So if you want to help me out, well, you still can with your financial with your finances. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, so I can order a bunch of gallons of water and some juices. That'll get me through at least, I think, like through a month here. That way if it's like a super duper crazy season, and people are going ape shit, then people would just leave the city, and then when the rebuilding comes in the spring, the city will be basically empty, and I'll be the fucking king of the city, and you guys can move in, and we'll own all the shit for next to nothing. It'll be pretty awesome. Colin, I never have, but I don't see the problem with it. I wouldn't do much. I would, if you found any good information on online, like, I don't know, whoever's big into enemas that have done them, I would go that route. But I know hydrogen peroxide is good. Again, stay minimal amounts, and after you do these cleanses, after you do these enemas that are especially cleansative, make sure you repopulate your system with proper bacteria. Yogurt douche, yogurt up the butthole, yogurt in the mouth, living fermented foods. Sometimes nothing. It does not sound good. Looks good. It is whatever you just said. Yeah. Danny's just typing letters in now. Are you just typing with a blindfold on? Yeah, I'm gonna do another show on this specific topic, but kimchi. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd put kimchi up my ass, but eat it. It's definitely gonna be good. You got to repopulate, and no matter what you eat it with a happy, healthy heart. Got to do that, yeah. You got to do that. Fermented tobacco? I mean, off the top, yeah, go for it. I don't know anything about it. I don't, what do you do with it? Is it for chew? Is it for, because there's like, tobacco has many medicinal uses. Mouthwash, toothache. I'm sure there's a connection to blowing smoke up someone's ass and tobacco juice. There's definitely got to be something, because if they're saying it as a joke and they're saying, this shit's no good, then it means it probably is good. Like snake oil salesman. But we know that snake oil and snake venom is actually, you can make anti-venom out of. So it's like, yeah, gentlemen, I never heard of that. See, like, you know what's screwing me up today? So I've been inside for a couple days because it was just too hot outside. It was just too hot, and because I wanted to jump in the pool, and like I'm getting this nice base tan going, and now I'm back to like, I was outside for days in a row, and for whatever reason, crazy, I was not getting that much of a suntan. I mean, I was getting a nice little base tan, but now I was inside for 2 days, and I've already lost my melanin. Oh, I've heard that name before. Pariki, or I don't know how you say it, but I've seen the word. Do I really think food shortages are coming in? Honestly, I hear you on the fear porn. Okay, obviously if it's on the news, it's fear porn. But that doesn't dismiss the fact. How many times do I have to address this part with people? because I have arguments with idiots on Instagram all the time, which I'm not going to do anymore. I'm done with arguing with idiots on Reddit and Instagram. Y'all stupid. I don't care. I'm not buying the fear porn. But if you go to your gas station, it costs more for gas. It's not fear porn. It's a reality. If you go to the grocery store, food costs more. That's a reality. Inflation has happened. That's a reality. The price of barley and the things to feed the cattle with cost more, which means that as soon as they slaughter them, it's going to cost even more. And there is quite a number of pretty decent resources that from my money, from my standpoint, pretty trustworthy, are saying these things are occurring. Are they planned or not? Let's use this again. Let's use this idea real quick. Remember, like a couple years ago when they were like, "Hey, there's a whole the C word," and while we know that that's not true, it affected everyone. People rocking the masks out, store closings, people not shopping, people, restaurants not letting you inside because you're not wearing them, like you're not masked up, like employees not being able to get paid. They're not paying enough. They're not making enough. Like these things are happening, whether it's true or not. Whether again, Colin, where do you live? If you live in a rural area, these things you're not even looking at them. It's not affecting you. Farmer Joe next door to you and the corner store over here, it's not coming to your town. It has no bearing on your reality whatsoever. The price of gas might, but the price of feed ain't going to go up for you because it didn't cost him any more other than a little gas, so it's a little more expensive. But all in all, that's you guys are insulated, and I'm assuming like some places are insulated against that because the population density isn't there. But the rest of the place, I mean, to say, I get that the whole thing with with the CBD was fear porn, but how many people lost jobs? How many people were told you can't come to work if you don't let me stab you today, you can't come into work. You're fired. That happened to a lot of people. We know it's false. We know it's a false narrative. We know it not to be true. We know it to be fair porn. But does it affect society at large? Yes, it certainly does. Pacho is good with cannabis, yes. I mean, and also back to the other thing. Is it hotter in June than it was last year in June? I can say, and every year before, absolutely without question. I've lived here, I know, and I can look up the history. Like, hey, maybe they changed the history. No, I know when it gets hot here, and I know it's much hotter. The pool is much hotter. This didn't happen almost ever, and it's only June. I'm just saying. So the heat is definitely more. I was just doing a bunch of research on Lake Mead, and there's like levels to when and where the water goes and how. That's right where the Hoover Dam is, right? And obviously it's pop on the news media right now, I guess. But I was like, let me look into this. So I got onto the Instagrams, and I'm seeing a couple people's pages that are out there in boats saying, we've lived here. This is real. Like, this is way lower than it's ever been. And they're showing you week by week. They're out in their boat. They're like, this usually takes 2 hours to get in here. It's taking 4 now because they have to build a new ramp. They're showing you where they have to build a new ramp because there was no ramp because the water level is so low. Now, is it done on purpose? Is it orchestrated? Is there something that could have been done about it? Sure. But it's to say it's not happening, you know? That's the bigger part. Are they paying here's what I heard, and it came from a pretty quality source. It was this, that they were paying farmers to get rid of their crop one and a half times the money to get rid of the crop, and if they didn't, that they wouldn't give them the subsidiary. Is it subsidiary? No, the whatever they make for the next year, whatever that word is. They cover the government gives them subsidizes. Excuse me, subsidies is different than subsidiary. Subsidies for the next year, so they can either they get rid of this crop this year, dump it, burn it, blah blah blah. Because you realize, like, even if it takes them another week to get it to market, if we screw up that supply chain, that food's going to go bad anyways. So they say, just get rid of it. We'll give you 1.5 times the money. Don't worry about it. We got you. But if you don't, you get we're not going to subsidize you next year. So this came from a pretty reasonable source. Now, is it happening everywhere? Is it happening in your little town? Perhaps not, but it apparently is happening in plenty of places. Is there an artificial rise in meat prices? Is it artificial? Yes, but is it real? Is it sitting there? There's artificial products, but they're sitting there. What I used to pay for, I used to be able to get this much of this, and I'm like, can't get that for that much anymore. So, remember, inflation, income tax, and interest are all set and done, orchestrated by the World Bank, Federal Reserve, et cetera, those larger institutions. They set those rates. They do that. But is it happening? Yes. And see, for me, I don't participate too much in the fear porn thing, but it does. You can't say when everybody else is freaking out around you, wearing masks, doing all that dumb shit. Like if I go to the store and I'm trying not to wear a mask, and then I got to deal with like a bunch of people like that are, last year sometime. I'm just like, what are you all doing? You're still interacting with it. What's the other option? Learn how to not eat. Learn how to not be near all of these people. Cool. I could do that. That's great. Good job. I'm just saying, on the larger scale, people are not gonna reduce their diets to 1/10. Again, 1/10 of what you eat. How much trash people throw away. It'll make people maybe people be a little more responsible for the food they're eating. I don't know. They'll throw less in the garbage can. Maybe they'll be less wasteful, if there's a bright side. But like, do you think somebody that's overeating garbage all day, you think they're gonna feel unfed and starved, even though they're starving? They're starving because they're getting no nutrition, even though they're very heavy. But do you think they're not gonna be weird to them? They're like, You see this woman, 250 pounds, 6 kids. I can't afford to feed my family. Well, I think it can. You just maybe you're just eating too much of the wrong thing. Why would I? Did I, in the sense that I'm out there having a good time, and all holidays I don't give a shit. I don't care. They're all saying to me, I celebrate every day like it is. If we go back into the true history and let's get into Black History Month, and I'm gonna celebrate. What is it? It's the 25th. Let me see. Yeah, we got Essence Fest. I live in New Orleans. I I'm celebrating. I celebrate black culture every day. Like what? Like what? I don't. Oh, please observe this. Like black people should already be like, I don't need a month. I live my whole fucking life like this. I don't need a day tell me about some stupid shit. Like this is my life, and like if you white people need to another reason to go, oh, well, my ancestors were fucking evil. That's on you people. I don't fucking know. I don't care. Oh, it was just a joke. I can. Yeah, that's the thing. I can never tell. I'm joking too, because I don't. But I mean, I did. I did. Whatever day was that? Was it? Well, they changed it this year. That was funny because it was the 19th, which was Sunday, and they turned it into a national holiday. So it was on the 20th on a Monday, which was confusing because it was supposed to be the 19th, or it's a yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go into the whole fucking thing, but and turn it into the Monday being a national holiday, and I did. I celebrated by yeah, I celebrated by hanging out with melanated folks. Having one of the loves of my life get real pissed off at me, and finding three other good melanated friends. It was a good day. I think I'm in the if I got a score sheet, I'm winning here. I'm winning on the ratios of. Well, I've always been in the more melanated friend category, but I earned three and lost one very important one. So, although I'll probably see her, I'll probably see her again soon. The Rehoboam thing in the Westworld is well, you gotta Rehoboam. See, I just started rewatching it, so I got super hyper focused and analytical on the esoterics of each scene and each show episode. So I totally like I went back and I'm on season 1, like I'm in episode 7. So I got to get there before Sunday to get to the end of season 3, which I don't think I'm gonna be able to do, but that's kind of why I'm doing this one, at least the beginning of the show, which was the Bicameral Man, which is part of, I think, basically episode 9, last episode, when, if anybody hasn't seen it, you're late to the party. When the dude, see, if you don't know this, this is not a, I didn't know this till right now. This is not like, I'm not destroying the show for you. It's been around long enough. So Bernard, who you think is living the entire time, you realize is just a robot. Right at the end of season 1, that the good doctor, what the hell is his name? Anthony Hopkins, whoever he plays. You don't find out till later, and you're wondering why is he like somehow in and out of space, in and out of time? Because he's like a holograph. He's like a hologram. But then also Bernard goes by another name, but is still influencing what's going on in the system. So he's still alive, or is he in? I don't know. I guess maybe you'll figure it out this season. I didn't know all that until like I've watched the whole thing a couple times, and I couldn't figure out like. Okay, I got that Bernard was living, but died before the park opened, and I got the whole connection to the chick that ended up killing him. But did she killed him, right? The robot that he built killed him before the thing started, but he's still alive, somehow influencing as his other name. I'm trying to figure that out. I still. Oh yeah. Oh, I hear you there. Yeah, there's a couple other shows that use a similar concept. Um, which was I? Put all this money in. It's two guys. It was two guys making this machine, and they were telling. I'd just seen this. What show was it? And they're like, you don't understand what this machine is capable of. And the guy was mad because it wasn't giving him a return on his investments. And finally, once he showed them that this computer. Oh, it was. It's kind of what Doctor Strange does, but it was in. What show was it? Man, I've been watching so many sci-fi shows. They're all kind of bleeding together into one giant hilarity in my brain. No, Colin, I have. Yeah, no, I have. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, I liked that. Season 3 was really interesting because they took the whole plot and just they took it into the other city, and it has a whole different feel to it. I'm glad they did that because if they were in another theme park, but that was interesting. Have you seen the first two movies? The one that was made in '76 and the one that was made in '80 or whatever, Westworld and Future World. Dolores, is Dolores the white girl? What's up, F10? I did see the new Matrix. Really, really good. Really good. And so I can't think of the name of the other show where two guys are making this computer and they're like, hold on, I can see the scene. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can visualize this here. Yeah. Lost the scene. Anyways, whatever. Nah, you should check the movies out. And the new Matrix is really good. I've watched it a couple times. It is a little more. It's a little more. I don't know. It's less special effectsy kind of nonsense that relied on the second and third. It was more close to what the first one did to your brain. How it recalibrated the way you think of things, and the folding over into different like the Doctor Strange thing and jumping in and out of time. That's interesting to me. Dark City? No, I don't think so. Yeah. The new Matrix. Yeah, it really is. It really is. That was extra to decode. Like I because I've been watching lately, almost exclusively plasma type movies, things that have reference to plasma apocalyptic. It was zombie apocalypse, and then apocalyptic type movies, and then sci-fi, and then futuristic things, and then that's kind of been my and superhero movies. That's been my jam lately. Growing up, I was not into that at all. Not whatsoever. But now I'm just like, let me gnaw on this a little bit. Yeah. You know what? I think they were shitting on it because it was too much for their brain. It was too much for them. It was intellectually they couldn't handle it. And it's not even intellectual movie. It's more of larger perspective, overview of that's some heavy shit right there. It was like when. Do you remember when Inception came out? And everybody that was the special effects and everything, and then some people are like, yeah, it's kind of overrated. Like, how? Like, what don't you get here? Like, the simple part, I'm like, do you dream? Oh, I've had a dream. I was like, So you've never been in an inception dream then. Like, so you don't even know what they're talking about. So you have all these people like these analytical intellectuals who think they're fucking super stupendous. They're like, well, they're. I'm like, but you can't traverse the dream realm and have no idea that what he's doing is actually real. Like, and there's a bunch of great symbolism in there with the room numbers and like that's real shit. Like that's what happens in your you stair step this reality. It's like an onion. It's like Russian dolls. You get incepted into dreams. I mean, is it as classically constructed as Russian dolls, where your dream is in reference to the next dream and the next one? No, not necessarily. You can just go from one dream into another reality and hold on to this body, hold on to a second body, and be in a third body that's this real. And people go, no, that's not possible. Like, sorry to tell you, but it is. Like right now, if there are people that are right now sitting here going, and their body is sitting here and they know it, and you could look at them, but their mind and they're in a space over there. But you're here, so you don't know they're over there. Go walk over there; they'll be right there. If they're projecting, if they're actually traveling in this space and time. So in Inception dreams, people are like, oh, dreams are fuzzy. Dreams you can't, like last night. Okay, you want to hear about a dream I had last night? This is fucking dream I had last night. I was hanging out with somebody, and so we were building up a lot of currency, and so I started collecting these big, like they weren't wads, they were like, it was stacks of money, and I started handing them to my friend that had a bag, and all this money, putting into this bag, so it's currency, and all of a sudden, this electricity rumbles through the sky. I can hear it. It's radiating through my body. And all of a sudden, this lightning bolt hits this tree. And as soon as that happens, my brain pops. Like, like Kundalini rising and your pineal gland. I don't know if you've ever had this experience before. Like when your brain pops and you release. Like it's kind of like a little pop. And I'm talking like the dream was, I'm sitting there on my bed, and as this happens, the electricity, I could hear it as plain as day. Explosion, this tree just goes, and I can see the lightning still in the sky. This tree is smoldering, and all of a sudden my brain, I can just feel this pressure, and it feels like it's leaking out of my ears. Laying there, not like in another reality. I'm still in that dream, but I'm 100% physically like going in my bed, like going, interesting. So I'm while simultaneously still in this dream, observing this tree and walking around, and I'm just feeling the pressure on my head. It's at first it's very dense, and then it starts to go through my body, and then it feels like it's leaking out of my ears. It's pretty awesome. I had a couple very, very exceptionally strong, vivid, vibrational things in my dreams last night. Were they dreams? I don't know. I couldn't tell. They were somewhere in between dreams and an astral projection. I couldn't really tell. Yeah, I've had like mini little Kundalini things, and like, okay, I could sit here and posture myself properly. And I could adjust and breathe and lower the energy and, squeeze the sacrum, pull it up into the dantian. And I could move that up and, eventually get energy and light to my head and maybe get a little... No, I'm talking about like it was... It could be because I was watching so much, because I was watching Doctor Strange and also Umbrella Academy, and they had a couple scenes in there like that. Sure, it could have been quite an influence, without question. There is that. But pretty wild. Pretty wild. And I remind everybody here, watch the Umbrella Academy series. The ending of season 3, they left it open-ended for season 4. It was a closure. They could end the series right there and you're fine. But they left it open enough where you'd be like, well, but what about these characters? But they put it in a good place. You know? Sometimes whenever you see you got the cliffhangers, those movies, fuck those movies. Those TV shows, they'd always end with the, oh, well, what if? It's like when you close the book, when you're done with that season of that series of shows, you're kind of like a little bit of closure to that. It's good, very good, high quality stuff. What else? Oh God, yeah. Some people are very anti-TV. I'll give you my quick spiel on it. TV is a mirror. It's a technology. It's a black mirror. It's one-directional. It's storytelling. It's a mind control device without question. It's the difference if you're looking at it and being a heavy mouth breather and going versus going, what am I looking at here? What is this? What's happening? What's going on in this thing? And you go, oh, why do they put the little image? Okay, they put the bus has this number on it, and this is going on. There's so many good things in there. If you watch it just because you're going to watch some stupid sitcom, that's your problem. If you watch good movies and you're trying to look for a lesson or some sort of story, like read a book. Why read a book? I can watch the movie. Yeah, but books are better. Okay. Certain books are better. There's certain books that I have that I wouldn't trade for a movie of it, but there's certain books that I have that you couldn't make a movie out of. You're gonna make the Universal 1 a movie? You can't. It won't happen. I've seen it. It's crazy. That was one of the first ones when I first started watching it. I was like, oh, mind-bending stuff here. Yeah, Black Mirror. See, now what we have when we use our phones, we have a white crystal ball. It's a white mirror. So you have the black mirror, which is projecting image at you. And you have a white mirror, like your mirror. It's an image. It's kind of a two-way mirror on the wall, that kind of thing. Where if I look at the TV, the TV's not looking at me. The TV has nothing to do with me. The TV's like, whatever. Listen to what I say. That's what that TV does. Now we have these phones here that give you the opportunity and the option of relaying information, data points in real time with another living system. So I don't see the problem with it. I do it all the time. Maybe it's because I'm doing it from the point of being somewhat a Black Mirror. Like you can text me. You're texting me now. I'm relating with you. You can, some of you I've talked to, chatted with. Some I've interacted with on the Zoomies. Some I've met in real person. So there's definitely huge stuff, man. I mean, am I going to meet when it was just a Black Mirror, that television screen? What did people do? I'm gonna explain something really heavy duty here for you. And it's not even that heavy duty. It should make sense. But when that black screen existed, when you went to the movies, that was Hollywood, dude. That was Hollywood. Hollywood. They were producing magic, and you were underneath the spell of all their magic. And you would never in a million years get to interact or meet any of them at all. At all. Right? And then one day, YouTube came about. And I mean, the internet did first, and we started communicating. Oh, I can communicate from a long distance. Okay. Yeah, but you're not that important. And then YouTube came along. And people were like, oh, there's somebody on here. They have something good to say. They have a really big channel. I like them. They're kind of cool. And then all of a sudden, that Black Mirror and the power of the media, the meds, the medes, Hollywood, became a little less. And then people started producing magic on here. Ooh, spooky magic. Right? And now it's at the point where, yes, there's a lot of small magicians, small channels, small people doing powerful work. But the people on the you know, you can meet magicians now. And the Hollywood types, they've went the other direction. They've started doing things on YouTube. They've started doing podcasts. They've started being more accessible. That you could meet the people that you used to think you're never going to meet. There's a chance you could interact with them. It leveled the playing field in a very big way. And it allowed people that were actual magicians, you know, to show you how magic and what magic is. Where you would have never known. You were underneath a very deep spell. There are still people that will never practice magic. They'll never have a channel. They'll never interact. Fine, that's cool. You know, I get that. It's not for everyone. But it's in the sense that, and there's some people that will have a channel and realize it's not for them. It's not going to work, and they're not good at it. They don't like it. It's not worth it. That's fine too. Whatever. But the point is that the big name A-list, B-list actors, they become way more accessible. In the worst way, now every chick thinks they're a porn star. In the worst way, it's made people, you know, too accessible and too slutty. In the worst way. In the best way, it's taken people off their pedestals and say, hey, you know, you're not that important. People are. We have the capacity to produce just as good of content. So now Netflix it used to be, oh, big screen. Ooh, look at that, Golden Gate Films, and here's a lion, and here's a spinning ball. And then it was like, well, now we have HBO, we have Cinemax, and then we had Netflix, and now you got all of these other film festivals, and then you have the people that are just making really cool stuff on YouTube. Yeah. Ha 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 ha. Colin, I totally hear you on that. It would be like, you know, if you spent your life as, say, oh, Mickey Mouse Club, kind of Justin Bieber, whatever, and you're like, you only knew fame. You only knew that. How would you observe the world? There's no other way you could view it. You can't blame those people. If you came from that background, where that's what it was, and you're wondering why when they try to re-interact with society at all, they just like, they don't get it. Like you can't communicate on my level. Like you don't know what it is you don't know what it means to struggle. You know, they don't have it. They don't get it. So you can't really blame them for it. But yeah, not having the phone, having that, growing up in that era without having that kind of access and power and whatever, and going, because you had to go play games, you had to go ride your bike, you had to be creative, you had to think, you had to read a book, there's other things you had to do. You couldn't just log on and start scrolling. Like me, there'll be days. I've probably spent an entire day just flipping through YouTube to Instagram to Reddit and scrolling through. Go to YouTube, watch a somebody's short documentary, watch this thing, which is really great. Scroll through, check on this thing, make a little comment here, be a snarky rude puppy over here. and just spent all day doing that, and that's really awesome. But if I just turn it off, I'm like, I'm gonna just go outside. I'm gonna go play with the ducks. I don't want my phone. I turn my phone off, and I'm like, I'm going to the park. Other people go to the park and they're like, dude, you're at the park, fucking. I mean, granted, yes, I do shows from the park. I hang out with the ducks. You see me, but a lot of, as you're saying, a lot of people, a lot of kids these days, now they're in their, whatever you call them, millennial, whatever, the 20 somethings. They don't. They can't exist without it. Like it's a full on like extension. I mean, I would call it an addiction, but it's more of an extension of their reality. Of their reality. They have no knowledge whatsoever of ooga booga caveman, start a fire. I'm not saying that that's where anyone needs to start. No, you don't need to start as a country mouse and grow your own crop and slaughter your own pigs, and you know what I mean, and to grow up into, I can move to a big city and have Chinese food delivered at 2 a.m. I mean, you don't have to. It's not. You don't have to develop that way, but there is a certain reliance that certain people. They don't know what that is, so they made their own. They made their own fun. They made their own. They made their own recipes. They made you. What else you can do? How else would you? How else would you maintain your mind? Some people like to meditate. Some people just like to sit there and stare at things and think. Some people like to just go, Some people want to interact and play with things. But how would you, if you give people the whole PlayStation to begin with, and then you have to you have to back them off of that into the point of going, okay, now what are you going to do? They would lose their mind. That would be very unhealthy. Like that's like you can't expect someone that is, I don't know, people junkies out here that are addicted to whatever. You can't just cold turkey them. They'll lose their shit. It's not a. It's very well shown that you can't do that to people because they'll end up worse off for it. You have to. When people have addictions to anything, the number one rule, if you have number one rule is to replace things. Even if it's not an addiction, let's say it's like. Say you're eating the wrong thing. You're saying, I want to be healthier. You don't say to them, you can't eat that. Like, I've been eating a double bacon cheeseburger. You don't say, you can't eat that. You say, hey, instead of that, replace it with this. So anything in your mind that is something that you're addicted to, something physically, just replace it. Let me go take a piss and refill my cup, and I'll talk to you guys in a second. I think I'm going to refill my cup with my piss. So yesterday, I had the luxury of eating Ethiopian food. Some of my favorite stuff in the world. If you've never had Ethiopian food, highly suggest it. The spongy injera bread, awesome stuff. Hand to mouth stuff, and and it's so spicy and rich and delicious that like so my piss, it was like drinking what flavor did I have that was really good yesterday? It was cabbage and carrots, and then two types of different colored beans, and a really it was like a spicy lentil or dal. Anyways, just still taste it. So to clean that out of me, I'm gonna have a beer, some lemonade, and should clean that right up. Well, it's 2 o'clock. Let me see. My phone has been on the fritz, like messaging wise, like messaging people and getting messages back. I don't know what the fuck. Sometimes it just does the shit where it's like, I'll text somebody or they'll text me and then I won't get it, or I'll text them back and they're like, I didn't get your text message. And I know like sometimes people are just being like, but no, it will say read or not read, and I'll be like, dude, I sent it to you right after you sent me a message. Like, they'll send me a message, and I'll send them right back. Like, dude, why didn't you check me back? I was like, I did. And they're like, I didn't get it until 3 hours later. I'm like, that's not when I sent it. And that happens sometimes. I don't know if it happens on your phone. I don't know if it's just networking capabilities or whatever the hell. Or just like, maybe I gotta reset something on my messages. I don't know. Anyways, so it was kind of nice because I was too busy talky with everybody, and maybe it did that for me because it could tell. Maybe technology was reading my general senses, where I was overwhelmed. Imagine that, Zen being overwhelmed. Get out of here. With a touch of anxiety and depression and overwhelmed, me, never. And so I was just like, dude, I need a minute here. Like, I'm saying this to myself. I'm just like, trying to breathe, because I'm just like, everybody's come at me in the same 24-hour period with a bunch of fucking, like, I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out. My girlfriend's like this, and my kids are being rambunctious, and fuck this dude, and this chick's an asshole, and like, can you help me with this? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm like an armchair psychologist over here. Shit, I didn't sign up for this. It's like I purposely didn't go to college to be a professional quarterback. So I'll be an armchair quarterback. It's like I purposely didn't go to college to be a professional grade psychoanalytical. That's pretty decent at it, but I think the problem with psychology, one of the major ones, is, let me equate this in a funny way. People that are psychologists or into psychology or whatever psychiatric shit, is they themselves become obsessed with it. In the same way that people that are into astrology, chicks that are really into astrology, and that everything for them is like, oh, your Aries is in my anus, and your fucking Mercury is like totally hovering above my Venus project. Like, I get it. I teach about astrology, but I never went that in depth on it because I didn't want to become too obsessive about it. I don't want to become obsessed with the mind. So therefore, I never went to school for that purpose. I take some classes, I learn about it here and there, but I would lose all function. I'd go cognitively insane because I would be like, how to figure out all this, and you'd be so analytical that I would lose the ability to go, oh, isn't that soft, and just enjoy what softness is. So in the same way, I had to step away from getting too in depth into any of the topics, because then it'd become an obsession and it would terrorize you, and I don't want my brain to terrorize me. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't think obsession is a healthy thing. Now, obsession in one way is fundamentally called what? It's like if you're an artist, you can create some really great things. So it's focus. But if you're obsessed in another way, it's called OCD. It's a disorder. Then you gotta like make sure you gotta double check the stove, quadruple check the stove. Is it on? Is it off? To make sure every line is so perfect when you're doing something. That's at what point is something a healthy obsession? I'll use one more example here. I never became a chef working in a kitchen, even though I can throw down, because I don't want to be in a line. I don't want to get in a loop, a line cook. I don't want to, even if I'm running a kitchen, I don't want to get in that loop where I'm doing the same thing over and over every day and then have to perfect something. Like, I don't want to become a perfectionist of something. And if I was working in a restaurant, I would have to be. Like, I've worked in restaurants and I've done, if I'm setting up the table, it's got to be right. Other people just like throw this over here. I'm like, what are you doing? This is Anthony Bourdain said it. I was watching one of his shows the other day. And he said, the reason all chefs are drunks is because we look at the world and wonder why it can't be run as organized as our kitchen is. It made a lot of sense to me. Anybody understand this? Maybe for whatever, maybe there's something in your life that is so perfect to you, that is so in the order it needs to be, that the rest of the world, because it is utter, it's chaos, because everyone else is out of order. Everyone is just, why are they leaving the lights on? What? Close the cupboard door. What are you doing here? Why can't they live in a more hospitable, it goes like this. There's an order to things. So I wonder, so other people to just go, hey, we can't have order all of the time. Can I take your order, please? You're like, once you're done taking orders, you're like, fuck it. Go and do something that is, it's called Shakti and Shiva. Go make some disorder. Go cause a little chaos in your community, in your mental community. Hold on one more second. Here, see, this is the chaos that exists in my mind. I don't always make my bed because there's a reason not to. And I'll explain to you why not to make your bed. But it's why not to make it in the morning. So you can probably hear me, but I'll just wait and come back over there. Hold on. So here's why you don't make your bed. Because you sweat at night. And when you sweat at night, you cover your bed up, it won't dry out. And you don't want sweat to start forming like whatever the fuck. So you leave your bed sheets off until, for me, it'd be about now. What's up, Axiom? How you been? How's your lunch? What you snacking on? Lunch break in it? F10? Yeah, usually. Well, here's the thing is, no, I really don't. I just more get exasperated and just be like, are you? Normally I just go, are you serious? You don't understand? You can't. What, am I not using English right now? It baffles me. But I get what you're saying. I've never thought that, but I see what you mean. I don't think that in the terms of physical violence. I think in the terms of mentally, I'm exasperated and like I'm gonna be like, will this wake you up? There it is. Oh God. Yeah, shake him awake. Shake and bake him awake. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, wake up from the delusion. I mean, that's the thing though. There's levels to the illusion, right? What aspect of the delusion or the illusion are we existing in? Like think about it. When you're doing really good, and every stoplight turns green, and you're happy and you're making things happen, you're producing the illusion. And people are like, "Wow, look at this, fancy." And then whenever you're having a bad day, and you're in the muck, you're in the like, ugh. Then the light turns red, and this person's bitching at you, and then you're in the delusion. Should somebody shake you awake? Maybe that'd be nice to get. Here's what you do. There's a little app on your phone that you can get. It's free, pretty easy to install. You just hit a button and you set a timer. It's called the it's like a meditation bell, and just have it go off every so often, just as a reminder. Hey, you can like put in there what you want it to say to you or whatever, or it could just be a bell, and you can that bell could just be to remind you, hey, you're powerful, you're strong, people love you, you got this. Whatever you need to say to yourself, whatever your I am statements are, go for it. Just put that in there, so that way when it goes off, maybe you need it every 10 minutes. Why? Maybe 15. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a pretty good practice. I don't know why I ever undownloaded it from my phone, but maybe it's time to re-upload that again. It's a simple reminder. A little physicality can be fun. I mean, that's why we have these bodies, right? Yeah. Discipline, disciple. Oh, I hear you on that, man. I'm definitely for that move. But the dilemma is, I don't take on students. I don't take on disciples. I don't want that. I already have one person that thinks that I claim to be spiritual, or I don't claim to be. I am spiritual. They think that I claim to be something I'm not. I'm like I'm just fucking doing what I'm doing, and but thinks they're like my student or something, and is very aggressive. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like they're gonna catch a fucking hard elbow in their skull if they don't get away from me, because I didn't take them on as a student. But I'm like, son, you ain't paid me enough. It would take a lot of money for me to take. Somebody would have to pay me a lot of money to take them on as a student. Quite a bit. I don't have enough. I give it away for free, and hopefully people in return like donate to me for whatever I know. But a student, that's like asking for. That's a baby. I'm gonna take a baby on. How much you paying me? A disco? You want to go to the discipline disco? I like that. Oh, I dig it, F10. Yeah. Oh man. Here's what I knew. This one chick I was dating, I couldn't fuck with her. I went shopping with her, and this kid, we're walking through the store, and this kid runs by the grocery store, and he starts dropping things off the produce aisle right next to me. I was like, hey, pick that shit up. And then he comes over, picks it up, and then she starts bitching at me in the middle of the store. Don't talk to somebody else's kid like that. I'm like, I will talk to him and whoever the fuck else, however I want. Like who? I'm like, I didn't come here to argue with you. I'm gonna argue with this chick I just started dating in a goddamn supermarket. What kind of white trash shit is this? After their little kid throws shit down at my feet, like I'm not gonna be the one to sit here and go, oh, good job, kid. Pick that shit up. Don't have me look at it like I'm supposed to pick up after your shitty little child. I don't even know who the fuck it is, running around the store all fucking, cuckoo. And then this chick I'm with, I'm like, you're gonna argue with me about what I can just say to somebody else's kid? Get the fuck out of my face. Like I'm not that one. Like grocery store person's gonna come by and like, oh yeah, good job, you didn't pick that up. No, it was the little kid's fault. The little kid needs some discipline. Yeah. 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 What do they say? A kid, what are these stick that's withheld from the child, or how's that? There's a poem that goes there, like a hand that's withheld from the child or something. It's like you realize your kid. The long story is if you don't let your kid fall, if you don't let your kid run around and bump into things, if you don't let your kid play, play fight and everything, you're gonna hover parent and put bumpers on everything. They're gonna grow up and be very, very like they're not gonna be able to play well with people. They're gonna be socially awkward. They're gonna be very self-righteous. They're gonna be like, it's not gonna work. You have to have your kids in contact sports, 100%. Male definitely need to be in contact sports. Females need to be, at least in something that is motion included. You know what I'm saying? Like things where they can fall and hurt themselves. Hey, teach them martial arts. That's fine too. But point is, you can't. And if they can't handle verbal conflict, yeah. My parents didn't, maybe a couple times, but they were they vocally were shitty with me. But I had enough coaches, and I played enough contact sports. I played football. I played enough things where if my mouth was too big and I couldn't physically pay the check, pay the bill, you learn that way. Where I'm a mouthy enough motherfucker when I need to be, because I know what I'm saying. I can catch the check on what I'm saying, which is like, here's what you should do. go drink your piss. I know what I'm saying because I've done it. Yeah, that wise dome. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of and a lot of these, getting back to like talking to someone else's kid. Like, if your kid comes up to me and punches me, who do I hit? Do I just smack him off and then punch you? Don't we gotta do that? Or do I just go, oh, he can just do anything he wants? What is he gonna learn then? Or do I just, like, in the grocery store, like, where's your ma? Is that the right answer? And it's mainly because these people grew up with no formal strong father figure. They left or were weak or whatever. Most of them is like it's the father figure or the abusive mother. So they grew up in those kind of families, and the kids grow up and they have no respect for a goddamn thing. So where are they going to learn that? Where are they going to learn some goddamn respect? Some motherfucking manners. What's up, Super Champ? Oh, thank you so much. I don't know if I got to tell you, but I received. It was all in one piece. And thank you, man. That is going to. I'm going to turn that all into ones. So that way, when these hurricanes hit and all the power goes out, and the credit cards and shit aren't usable, at least I'll still be able to buy myself some snacks. So, hey, and for everybody else here, if you want to, it's probably going to be a pretty heavy-duty hurricane season here. So, I need to prep up. So I need to get some water and some juices and things. So if you want to donate to my rainy day ReignMan fund, feel free. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. If I taught you anything, if you want to spare me a buck or two or whatever, donate just because I'm cool. TSAR, capital XEN is in the description box. You know what's up. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't know how to speak, I mean, kids they learn through mimicry, which is the difficult task. Once they're already, yeah, man, it was right on time, right on time. It was literally like the day I was just like, I was just feeling all down on myself. I was like, ah, man. It came right on Father's Day too. I was like, man, I really need a beer. I was like, but I got no cash right now. I'm fucking assed out. I was like all low on myself, and I was like, fuck it. Let me go check my mailbox. Oh yeah, that was always as much as Bruce Lee was correct. Be like water, my friend. No, wind is the highest element. There's nothing if a wind affects everything, nothing affects wind. It's pretty much like that. So the dilemma with these kids is they learn from hold on a second here. The dilemma with these kids is they learn from mimicry, but if in one moment their mother or father is disrespecting someone and the person just stands there and accepts the abuse, like if someone starts running their mouth at you, they're in a Walmart and you got that crazy Karen running their mouth at you and their kid's there, what's the proper response? Sit there and take it? What are you teaching that kid? Or do you teach the kid, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't really have a lot of options in that moment because your influence is minimal on that little tard bucket, and you have to stand in respect to yourself. You can't have if you're being verbally and physically disrespected by somebody because they think they're top shit and self-righteous, and they run their mouth at you and doing all this shit. I mean, where do you draw that line? Because this whole popular narrative these days is where my rights stop, or where your rights stop is where I'm offended. That's when you can't even. If you offend me, fuck you. And then they go off on you and start berating you because they've been offended their entire life. And now they're playing that victim mentality game and do all that shit. Like where does that stop? And when do they just get to not abuse you for that kind of? Like we have more and more children and crazy people come out the woodworks these days. Yeah, it's because they're wearing masks and they can't breathe and their brains don't work. Childhood psychological traumas. I mean, I could pinpoint all of the reasons why it happens, but how do you deal with it? You're not going to sit there and take it. Is that the right answer? Sit there and let somebody mentally and verbally abuse you and insult you completely, intensely, many times? Be rude to you? Be like passive aggressive and instigate? Like what? Are you gonna play? You can play aloof games. We want to get into the four control dramas. You gotta play aloof when somebody starts doing that shit to you? I don't know. Kids learn from that. Yeah, they do. But yeah, I was just speaking to that one singular storyline. Like, when I said earlier, that kid dropped something in front of me in the store, acting like a crazy fool, and I don't know where his ma's at. I mean, I'm assuming his ma's shopping. It's noon. And I was like, dude, pick that up. Like I think that's the correct answer. I didn't like grab him and was like, you motherfucker, pick that up. You know, I was like, pick that up. I mean, I've done that plenty of times, and most of the time, I get a quality response. You know, I've coached, I've taught. Kids wildly respect me. But, you know, it's like, it's like, what do you what do you do when adults are on that childish behavior? I don't know. People are really in that zombie mode at this point, huh? Let me fix this. This is bothering me. This is bothering me, Chuck. All right, everybody. Well, let me yeah, thank you, Super Champion. Somebody got to. That's the point. I mean, if they're what if they were just running around reality in general? What if they're just like on their bike, crossing the street, and it's a busy street? Do I just go, not my kid? Or do I grab him up so he doesn't get hit by a car? What's my responsibility there? I mean, honestly, I don't have one. Morally, ethically, I'm clean in the clear. I don't give a shit. You might have moral and ethics about that, but shouldn't you be more like, you know, snag that up real quick? Like, what are you doing? I can't tell you how many times I watched this little kid fuck with some horses downtown New Orleans. So, well, they're not horses. They're I guess mules. Is that right? You cross a horse and a donkey, get a mule. Yeah. And he was fucking with it. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he looked at me like shook that I'd say something. I was like, that thing is working and it could fuck you up. I was like, you want that to bite you? You want that to kick you? What are you doing? And the kid looked at me like, First he looked at me like, how dare you talk to me? And second, he's like, I guess no one's ever said that to me before. What are you gonna do? Somebody else didn't tell you that? You shouldn't do that? Oh, yeah. Oh, this mirror mode? I do that all the time. People don't like it. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. You ain't got a problem, there won't be a problem. You want a problem? We can have that. I'm 100% okay with that. I did that the other day with somebody. They did not like that at all. Nope, not one bit. And they were completely in the wrong. I didn't cause a problem. You could start a problem. I will finish it. Yeah. Any moral person. See, here's why I say I don't have morals or ethics, because it gives me less. It gives me complete rainbow area, gray area, if you will. That I morally and ethically stand by nothing. I can't. It makes no sense. I can't say like you can't say morally you're against killing, because I guarantee you eat cow. So you aren't. If someone was going to kill your baby, you would kill that person. So you have already destroyed your ethical or moral boundaries, however you want to delineate what you think ethics and morals are, if you want to get right into dogma, ethics and morals and all this bullshit. But essentially, everything is situational to me. Everything is 100% a meditation of what is currently observable in my reality. That's how I have to qualify it. You can't say you're against you're an alkalinic person. What if you lived in an environment that was so cold and alkalinic that you needed acid to start a fire, and acid was going to be really good for you know what I'm saying? Like you can't be against heat. You can't be against cold if you're in different environments. It's your environment will qualify your behaviors. It's terrain theory. And your terrain will adjust your disposition and on your moral and ethic compass boundaries. Yes, you can have the golden compass and say, morally and ethically speaking, the righteous thing to do is what? What, to turn the other cheek? Well, here's the thing about turn the other cheek. Did Jesus just say turn the other cheek? But he certainly didn't. When he saw a money changer, he ran up in that bitch, flipping tables over, yelling at people. But then he was hanging out with hookers the next day. You got to pay attention to these stories. Like, here, let me give you my favorite example. I know that the best thing to do is not to kick a puppy down a flight of stairs. I know that in every way, that's a bad thing. That's evil. You would consider a person that kicked a puppy down a flight of stairs evil. Let's just throw in the mix. I'm walking my 1-year-old there, and this little violent chihuahua, this fucking little piece of shit, shih tzu, whatever the hell it is, comes over and jumps and attacks my child. I'm going to line this up like I'm kicking a 65-yard field goal, and I'm Janikowski, I'm Elam, these are football references, kicker guys, and I'm gonna punt that puppy over, down, around, off a wall, into their owner's face. I don't give a shit. Have I ethically or morally broken? These are. Do you justify putting the train down the track to kill one person rather than kill 5, or do you leave the thing go where it was going to go anyways? That kind of thing. No, it's a little more. My view is a little more cut and dry. But you would say you would never kick a puppy. You just said you'd never kick a puppy, but I guarantee you would. Yeah, but those are extenuating circumstances. Not really. Not really. It's a possibility. And when I'm done kicking that puppy, whatever the owner is, I'm gonna make sure my child is in tow or someone else around can hold on to it for a second, and I'm gonna punt the owner of that puppy down that same flight of stairs so they can go and get their puppy, because I don't want their puppy to be lost without them. So let me end it on this. I want to go take a shower because I do smell like the it's really good, but it's just a lot of aroma right now. I smell like I don't know exactly what the spice is. It's not onion, it's not garlic. It's just like a heavy Indian food spice. And I'd like to go bathe and see if the temperature of the pool water has been changed, if they put any if they put the hose in there or something. Maybe go outside, get a tan, maybe go to the park. But as per usual, it's not musty. It's just the smell of Indian food or curry. Smell of it smells good to me. It's warm in here, so it's kind of radiating. It's kind of everywhere. So it's good to see everyone. Remember these couple rules for life. 1, take care of yourself. Enjoy your experience because it is yours. And if you have an overflowing cup of abundance, feel free to share that with your friends, especially me. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, all that. And stay goofy, stay weird, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy your day, and do all that stuff and things. Maybe we'll talk later. Toodles. Bye, guys. Oh, thumbs up are good too, and all that. Comments, and tell your friends and family, listen to this crazy fuck.